Hey, come on. Come on. Hey, what? Here we go, here we go, here we go now. Hey. Let's chit chat, sis is the show now. Come on. Bad black mama's gonna let you know now. Hey. Here we go, here we go, here we go now. Come on. Let's chit chat, let's chit chat, hey. Let's chit chat, sis. Hey, what's up? Let's chit chat, let's chit chat, let's chit chat, sis. Hey.
Welcome to Let's Chit Chat Sis. I'm your girl Kimme, and I'm back on the porch tonight. And we have some new co-hosts on the porch tonight. I have my girl Remel and Ahesha, and I am so happy to bring you season 3. Ladies,
Yeah.
Woohoo!
when I say new co-host, I mean I can say I've known Remel forever.
Yes, girl.
We were the tots, you know, playing together. And Ahesha, she's the new sister on the block today, hanging with us on the porch. And we are here to talk about a hot topic. You know, it's sensitive. But before we get started, I just want you ladies to introduce yourselves because we're going to have a lot of conversation this season. And everybody needs to know you from the beginning.
Okay, I'll start out. My name is Remel, and I'm from Philadelphia. Yay! Just like the other two co-hosts. I am a nurse by trade, but I'm also a podcaster, and so this is a new passion for me. It's very cathartic, and I'm loving every minute of it, and I'm loving Let's Chit Chat Sis's platform.
Absolutely. Aisha Catalano here, also from Philadelphia, living currently in sunny California, and I wouldn't trade it for a thing. I am married with two crazy little girls. They are 6 and 3, and they keep me pretty busy. So, this is an amazing outlet for me, something fun that I absolutely love to do. So, I'm just looking forward to chit chatting with the ladies here. I'm so excited about season 3.
I'm excited too because we are all Philly girls. What is the possibility of that? That is like a cut your finger blood bond.
Yes.
Yes, and you know we're gonna keep it real at that
We're going to
point.
keep it real. So
Yes.
I will tell you, you may want to remove the children from the room now because we are going to keep it real. We never mean to offend, but we are always going to keep it real and be truthful with you. So when we have a conversation with you, we're going to bring you the raw, the uncut, and the real. Right, Ramel?
Absolutely, honey, 100%. That's what I'm all about.
For
Philly in the
sure.
house.
So, before we get into our topic, I'd just like to always break the ice real quick and talk about, things that I look up because I'm an internet troll. Anybody that's following me on the social media pages know that I dig up all kind of little dirt, little tidbits here and there. But it always is a message because I want sisters to grow, not just in your personal life, but in your business life and your spirit. Because things that are out there on the internet tells us things that we need to know to grow financially, spiritually, and just to know the whereabouts of where Black women are going today. So I was just scrolling through my little day to day, and I just noticed that our girl Kim K Kardashian got a cease and
Mm.
desist letter from a little small business. She's just a little person in the pond, and they have a skin line. It's called Skin, and this person put their trademark in March, and Kim Kardashian put hers in late June. So she thought she was entitled
Mm.
to have this this line because it happened that she had already set up a website, she set up social media pages, and she was just gonna, you know, just bombard her ass and just take over. But homegirl said, hell no, fuck this. This is my name. Because once you trademark something, you even start the process, that's starting the
Mhm.
process and all shit stops. So she shut Kim Kardashian ass down, and I'm
Good
like,
for her.
good
I'm
for her.
so proud of her.
I'm so proud of her. And I was gonna say how y'all feel, but y'all already done told me how y'all.
That's
I
how
mean,
I feel.
I feel like that. Good for her, because I'm about tired of these rich motherfuckers coming in here and
Yeah.
stealing and appropriating our shit,
Mhm.
and then thinking they can steamroll over us and take our shit. It's been happening too long, and I'm so happy that she's fighting back.
She's fighting.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that she had everything set up the right way. So many times, people of color, we learn things the hard way
Yeah.
after we done messed up and, got into issues that cost us, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars trying to fix stuff because we didn't know. So I applaud her for having her stuff together, having her things in order from jump, and being bold enough to say, "This what you not going to do, little Miss Kim K."
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, she came with it from the gate, and I love it.
She
And it's not
did.
even the first time that Kim has been in one of these issues.
No.
She's been in lawsuits with cease and desist before. So I don't even know why the fuck her people just keep playing like that. Like,
They
stop
don't
playing these
care. They don't
games.
love her like that. They don't love her like that.
Because you know why she think that, Ramel? She thinks that because she has money and wealth and power, that somebody is going to just get scared and say, I'm gonna back my ass away because I can't fight her. You see what I'm saying? I can't fight her.
Well, that 28-year-old black woman that's living in New York and handling her business is smacking that ass down.
Yep. And then you done gave her free promotions and publicity.
Yep, because I didn't know who this thing was, but I sure did.
Yes.
I'm gonna go by that. I would say because
Yep.
you stood up for yourself, and I'm so proud and happy. So for anybody who thinks that the big shark monster whale can eat your little guppy ass, here we go again. Stand up for yourself. Make sure when you start your business, you do everything. Not just go out there and get your 45-minute or $45 LLC. Do everything. Your name is your name. Trademark your name. Trademark your belonging. Make sure, because you don't know who on the back end is doing what. And hell, it could be a damn star, and they try to run off with your shit, and it's yours. You own it. Your intellectual property is yours. And guess what? If they want it, hell, if you want to give it to them, make them pay for it. They
That's
rent.
right. Run it on up. All right, Kim K, how bad you want it?
How bad do you want it? Yep, that's right. So saying that, I'm glad we touched on that. But this topic tonight, I'm just gonna sit back and in cruise control because I just got so many questions I want to ask about this topic. But I'm gonna let the floor be taken. Ahesha, you just take over.
Yes, let's get into it, ladies. We are talking about women's rights and men's entitlement to have a say, any kind of opinion in matters concerning women and women's bodies, the whole nine. So no aspect of that conversation is off limits. So let's get into it, ladies. How do you feel about, men having a say in, everything from medical procedures or, laws pertaining to women and women's bodies, the whole nine?
I'm going to say that before I started researching this tonight, I'm always that advocate about, women, if you don't have a vagina, you can't talk about it. If you don't have this or that, you can't talk about it. But I had to say that during my research for tonight, I realized that there are times where, so a woman says, a man has no right to say when she should have an abortion or if she should have an abortion. Right. But I did look up and I thought about the converse side of that where men don't want to be fathers. I mean, however, if you don't want to be a father, then you might need to get your shit nipped and tucked.
Yes.
But there are times where things happen and they should have a say. And it's not a generalized say. It's a say between two people. You know what I'm saying? So if a woman and a man are having a one-night stand and the woman gets pregnant, well, they both were consenting adults, so they knew that was a possibility. But I still think it should be a conversation. And I still think the man can have some input. So Just to double back, I used to be like, nah. But when it comes to women's abortion rights, mind your motherfucking business.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mind your
I
business.
hear that. And I think that if it's a, like you said, a direct situation that he's involved in under those circumstances, I feel like, you know, almost coddle them a little bit like, yeah, you can give your little 2 cents, but at the end of the day, it's still, not your decision, but we'll hear you out. We'll give you the mic for a second, get your little opinion off your chest. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like they really have a say in, any matters concerning, the woman's body. For example, if a woman decides that she does want to have a baby or does not, like that's it. You're going to have to roll with the outcome of that and deal with it however the chips will fall. For example, if she decides, that she wants to have that baby, if he says, okay, that's not what I'm trying to do right now, and she has to understand that that's his choice as well. We heard the little, his little opinion or whatever, but her decision is her decision. And conversely, if she decides that, she does not want to have that baby, his saying, yeah, I'll be there, all that sounds great. But if she's not on board with that, I don't know, bruh. I feel for you, but
But
sit
do you
down
think she should be
somewhere.
able to collect? Do you think if she decides to have the baby, right, and he's saying no, even though we know they both should have used protection because it's dumb on both of their parts, but if she decides to have the baby and he's saying no, I'm not ready to have a baby, do you think that he should be forced into fatherhood? Do you think that he should be forced into paying child support?
Yes.
I don't.
I
And, just because, he made it very clear from the beginning that, he didn't want any parts. That means, his physical presence, financially, what have you, if that's the agreement, if that's the conversation that was had prior to, you know, I'm
Kim's
not
shaking
going to
her
say
head
you can
so
have it
hard.
both days.
Kim's shaking her head so hard.
Oh no,
That's all right.
we leaving out the kid here, and guess what? When we all taking responsibility here for this baby, because even if you don't want something, you still fucked. I mean, at the end of the day,
That's
and,
true.
you knew what was coming along with that. You didn't use no protection. You still did it. You can say you don't want a part of that kid, but one thing that's going to always come along with it, that kid got to eat.
Okay, let's say this. Let's say this scenario, because I think of scenarios. Let's say the girl and the guy get together, and he wear a condom, and he busting it down, and the condom break, but he don't realize it right away. Maybe he did because it was feeling a little too good, but he didn't realize it, and things happen. Should he be responsible?
Yes, that's Jesus. So
Should have brought the loud into it.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Look at God.
too bad, so sad. That's. I'm sorry, but that's Jesus. He said he needs you to be a parent. That's not your choice no more. That's just the work of nature. Sorry, that don't back you out of it.
I don't know. I still feel like,
We can say what we want to do. At the end of the day, you can't make nobody do anything. They can run across the whole country looking in. You still don't get a nickel. So, I mean,
right.
you still don't get a nickel. I just think that even if you can't emotionally make someone be a parent, they know that child still has needs, and that came along with the one night stand, the 30 minutes, or hell, the damn 5 minutes. You still knew what came along with it. You can't back out of that. So I just
don't do no fucking if you're not ready to be a parent.
Absolutely.
That's how I feel about that. That's what it all boils down to.
We got me and Remel, we got older sons. We had to have these conversations with our sons. You do that, you know what's going to happen. It's just no ifs, ands, or but about it. I may not be happy about it, but I'm sorry. That's what comes along with it. Unless you get her agreement, it's going to be her decision. What happened? Your ass is going to be out there. Don't be saying you a superstar doing this and doing that, and that's what your plans. You better incorporate that third job, because that's what's going to happen, because the kid need to be taken care of. Or you can just run like you escape fugitive for the rest of your damn life or whatever, and you can't pay nothing. That's not going to be my issue, because I'm going to be in contact with her and be a part of my grandchild's life. That's going to be your issue. But
I
You
might
have to
have
know
to
to come
change my
home.
program then. I've been telling my son, fuck it all, fuck it. If it ain't nailed down, fuck it. If it's nailed down, pry it up and fuck it. So I might have to change that because if he don't get no say, then we're gonna have some problems. Because I'm telling him,
Yeah,
strap up.
you don't say. You don't get no
Aiden,
say now.
strap up twice.
Yes.
You better tell them the whole body went on. But but as far as like giving decisions about abortion, I'm talking about like higher up, like legislation. Now that shit pisses me the fuck off right there. When I'm
Yeah.
looking at the TV
Yes.
and they making decisions and saying that, okay, we can only have abortion till you're 4 weeks or pregnant and things like that. That's where I get a little perturbed because I think again, when we go back to the conversation where, hey, A and B is me and this Negro right here talking about what happened, and we both fucked up. We were drunk. We ended up I'm pregnant, so on and so on. Okay, we fucked up. Not that old white ass man over there talk about I can't have
Right.
abortion. That's something totally different.
Who probably ain't never touched pussy in his life.
Absolutely. So that's something
Still got
totally
mommy
different.
issues. That really
Exactly.
fires me up. I
Don't
feel
it make
like
you angry? Like
it really does. And it makes me angry. I think it always did, but the older I get and now that I have children, I'm living the result of these decisions that they make or whatever. It really makes me furious. I feel like we live in a patriarchal, society, and men have never, if you look over legislation, if you look over, the history of our country and all types of laws, I feel like they have never been for women at all. They, always serve themselves. And it makes me so frustrated, now raising two young girls to know that that's the world that, they have to live in. It makes me furious. I had a friend of mine, I was in one of my little mommy groups or whatever, and she was presented with a situation and she had never, just like me, like never thought about this stuff until you're like, smack dab in the middle of some wang mess. She had gone to, her usual OBGYN appointments. And this was quite some time after, I think, her second or third child. No, second child. She is in her early 30s. And her doctor was like, no, you need to, talk to your boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. Cause she was talking about, getting her tubes tied, like, totally being done or what have you. And, she was like, I'm done having children. She's like, well, if things don't work out with, this gentleman, you could meet someone else. And what if that person, wants children? She's like, okay, well, I'm done. So that's it for me. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And so it sparked this entire conversation in the group where other women were saying, we've had that conversation, and they basically told me the same thing. Like, I have to have my husband, sign some documentation okaying it. So that brought me back to my own house. We had that conversation. We discussed it before I was ever pregnant. And after I got pregnant, the decision did not change. I birthed the babies. You better clip it, snip it, and do whatever. When I'm done, we done. That's it.
I know
If
that's
you don't
right.
want to strap up every single time, you get your little reversible snippity snip, and that's that.
That's when I turn into Nurse Ratchet when I'm in the room and the doctor starts doing that. I'll be like, Doc, can I talk to you outside for a minute? You can't do that. You can't tell her that she can't do that. You violating all kinds of things right there. You can't do that. You can't keep suggesting to her once she's told you no, it's her choice. You can't make her do it. There was at one time, I think it was in the 90s, I thought that was the law, but it's not. It's a suggestion. You can't make nobody do that. You stop talking about it when they say I'm done. Do what you got to. You said what you had to say. You understand this is not reversible. You understand blah, blah, blah. Do you want to come in with your husband? No, that's it. Okay, no problem. Let's schedule it for you then.
Yeah, that's just some crazy mess. And that's just so intimidating. Like what happens if something happens to you during the course of surgery or something else? You didn't even get a choice in your own life. That's just so crazy. I don't want no more damn kids. How about that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Exactly.
That's all the conversation we need to have.
I love my kids, and I have two. But when I didn't want any more, I didn't want any more kids. That's
Exactly.
it. What I'm telling you. Okay, how about this? You want me to keep on kicking out kids, be crazy as fuck, and then somebody that don't make it. You know what I mean? Really,
Somebody don't make it.
somebody don't make it. It's a lot of stories that happen where people then went off and this shit went awry.
Yeah.
Really, because somebody controlled something, and it was a man controlling some woman, and it didn't go well. Mental illness is so real. We know that. You taking care of little ones. Hell, that's already stressful. It's hard raising little people. And then you kicking them out back to back. Nobody can tell you can't stop, and then you got to deal with that. Somebody goes
But
goes nuts.
did you notice in the story that Aisha told that he never once suggested to send her husband to a urologist
That's right. You got to go through the painful, and yours is more painful.
Yep,
so
longer
he
recovery
can get
time and
snipped?
everything.
Yeah.
Somebody summed it up. I actually went looking for it in a tweet that I read from a couple of years ago. This was probably around the time that we were having the conversation, because my daughter was born in 2018 and the tweet was from a year later. And this is like 1000% how I feel. If a woman has sex with 100 random dudes in a year, she will only produce one full-term pregnancy. If
Yep.
a guy has sex with 100 random women in a year, that could result in 100 full-term pregnancies.
Wow.
Not
And
likely, but
mostly
it's possible.
unwanted.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It is possible. So I don't understand why, they continue to regulate women's bodies in such a way. If you just look at the statistics from that standpoint, that's an absolute fact that that's possible. And we still put all of that, pressure and legislation on women and women's bodies when their
Well,
little situation is reversible anyway.
I
Just
think it's a little bit more.
look at who's making the laws. It's men,
It's men.
Yep.
mostly.
And I hate to say this, and this may sound, I hope it doesn't offend anybody, but it's the truth. It's not too many of us sitting up there in the legislation, the group making these laws. And it really is the control of um, white women not procreating, really, because if you think about it, the tide has turned. We not the ones running and busting down the abortion clinics. You know what I mean? We're not the ones that, because we have always learned how to do and manage with and without. You know what I mean? We can make it through practically any situation. Their tide has turned for them. The population for them is stagnating. The population for us is going up. You know what I mean? Hell, I
Right.
bet you if you would just keep on having a whole bunch of babies and they're not having a whole bunch of babies, that doesn't equate to what they want this population to look like. So let's put these laws into place. They're not worried about you going into the clinic. They're not worried about, it's just that you happen to be a woman, you're just going to fit into the category. So unfortunately, that's why these laws are being put into place. But they're going to affect you too, because if you are a woman and you have a career and you have things that may not fit into that agenda, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect you. So it's offensive. You should not be in the category where someone tells you what to do about your body. But on the flip side of us, we get the least care for as women. What I mean? Black women
Absolutely.
least care. They're not listening to you. You got to get the second and the third opinion. If you're not, you might be dead. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's a whole bunch of factors that we deal with. But when you start talking about our bodies, it's is that a damn taboo? You know what I mean? It sounds like a damn taboo. Are we guessing that this is how it's supposed to be? What is the norm? Women just never get respected, because that's the part we deal with. Let's talk about what happens to when a woman is out breastfeeding. That's a big one. Hell, you can't even breastfeed in public. That's what your damn breast is for, really. Not to be dropping it like you're hot and then dollars thrown at it. Your breast is supposed to be to feed your babies. But if you out breastfeeding, that's an issue to some somebody, they get offended about it. You just like, I can't believe you're mad about that. You know what I mean? What else you want to do? You want me to sew up my coochie and now you want me to hide my titties? What else do you want from me? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's all that
Exactly.
you want.
Well, go back to making the band. When they were making that show and I was on there, I was showing up giving Aiden the full titty on screen. You ain't gonna stop me from feeding my baby. We in a meeting and I'm feeding my baby today.
The most healthiest thing for them, you know, but you see people giving women side eyes like they ain't never seen a titty. You ain't never had no sex. What they do? Just put their hand.
Some straight Handmaid's Tale foolishness.
A titty, you know what I mean? Really, I could go in the store and watch somebody give a side eye to a woman breastfeed, and that's just the craziest mess. But you know, that's my opinion. Go ahead, Ahesha, because I was over here.
Absolutely. That was my reality not even that long ago. And I was that, you know, vocal person advocating for myself and educating other people about, you know, my rights to feed my doggone baby. Mind your business. I will squirt you in the eye. Keep it moving.
You want to take some breast milk today?
Oh my goodness.
My
husband would be like, please, just if they know what's good for them, they will just look away and just mind their business.
I thought Alex was the crazy one.
That's what most people think. I think we balance it out pretty well. We both got a little touch of cray going on. But yes, definitely, you know, don't come for me and mine. You know, I feel like people should be able to, you know, decide for themselves, you know, how they want to, you know, approach different things and go on about their lives. You know, folks got to mind their business. But in terms of, you know, legislature and things like that, we definitely have to do better as people, advocating for ourselves and knowing what our rights are and kind of educating ourselves on what the laws are. Moving here to California was very eye-opening for me and my family. I guess we matured a little bit and we realized the responsibility that we have in terms of like voting and knowing what these candidates stand for and what they truly believe, because that's really where it starts. And I remember, you know, just being younger and, you know, family members or, you know, friends, their parents and stuff, you know, oh, we just going to vote, you know, straight this or straight that, or I'm going to vote for, you know, this person for this thing. But that really was a shallow reason, like not really getting into who they're voting for and why and what that's going to mean long term in terms of those seats, you know, in different places of government, you know, Congress and just all of that. There is such a responsibility that starts, I guess, in the household, but, you know, just making that education available so that our children, you know, hear us having those conversations and that they understand it's their responsibility as well when they turn 18 to do their research and know, you know, who those candidates are and what they stand for, so that government can start to look a little bit more like what our society represents. Because like you said, those, you know, old fogies over there somewhere, they're, you know, kind of dying out. Right. Their counterparts aren't producing anything.
They have agendas, and they do, and their agendas is not for women. Really, it's not for women. It's to suppress women, you know. And if I want to do what I want to do with my body, I'm going to do it. I mean, like, hell, there's a whole bunch of shit going on with women with their bodies, you know, a lot of things, and it's not all good, you know, at all. You know, it's if we move from this topic to what legislators are doing, think about what females are doing to make their bodies look impressive to men. You know what I mean?
God.
I mean, hell, what's some things called BBLs? What they
BBLs?
Yes. Yep.
BBLs. I mean, I know y'all on TikTok just like I'm on TikTok. I'm like, why that shit draining on? What's that draining out your twat? And I mean, what is that draining? Oh Lord, that looked so painful. And why you got that suit on like that? That you go to bed like that? Oh, I'm just too old for that. That's what I be saying at night.
So
But my husband
restrictive.
say, "Shut up with that messaging. Why are you over there complaining like it's you?" I say, "Because when I go to bed, I want to be comfortable. I can't
Right.
in a straight jacket. Like, what is going on?"
And
They're
I don't
making
feel
those
like your body can even function with all of that,
Like,
restrictive stuff going on. It's absolutely crazy.
I want to know how they get up and pee in the middle of the night. That's what I want to know. You doing all of
ew.
this because a man said you need a bigger ass? Come on
And
now.
that ain't
Right. And he
even
probably won't want you
real.
next week.
Why you
Yeah.
gotta look like a bot? I mean, you got like this waist with. I mean, your waist is like inches wide, and then your hips is way out here. Hell, I go walk every day to make sure my hips go down. What the hell are y'all doing? Y'all want some ass over here? Come on. Like,
All out of proportion, just looking
man, you
crazy.
look crazy. But you look like an 80. I'm like, what the
Right. And that's something that they obviously are not really thinking about in terms of just living in the moment, living for now. Anytime you are willing to, go under the knife, there are risks associated with that. You just never know, procedures, things can happen. And the fact that so many women are willing to put their bodies and their lives at risk to fit this image of beauty, it's
For a
ridiculous.
man.
Yes.
And y'all realize that what men want has constantly changed over time. So there
Yep.
was they found like a figure from like 20,000 years ago, they said, and the thing was fat. It was fat as fuck. It big belly rolls and big old hanging saggy titties. But they said that was they believed that was man's perfect woman for that time, and that represented that she could produce children. And
Mm-hmm.
then then you go through these stages of like years and years later or whatever, and then you get women starting to trim down a little bit but still big as fuck. But then culturally, depends on what culture, because then I notice in
Mm-hmm.
some cultures women are a little more robust, and you see this beautiful man, and he's like, I'm gonna introduce me to you my wife, and then she's like kind of big, and I'm like, oh wait, what's going on here? I think just men constantly change what they want. We can't keep up with that shit,
Right. Ain't
and we're
nobody trying
killing
to do all that.
ourselves. We're
Nope.
killing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We're literally killing ourselves.
And I know you probably see this because you're in the profession, Ramel. These women are literally killing themselves. I mean, they're going out of the country,
Yes.
coming back, and
With flesh eating disease,
flash.
asses just turning into necrotic tissue. I mean, and all
Uh,
because men, yeah, all because men say that you should have a big fat ass. You should see all these fat asses running around in Atlanta. I'm talking about big asses. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even know how the top part of your body is holding on to the bottom, because that shit look
Right.
like a shoestring is tied around your waist. And I mean, but that's what men's perception is down here of what women should look like. And if
Well,
you don't look like that, you get ignored. 100%. They
really?
don't even look at you. Yeah,
I
they don't look
believe
at you.
it. Out here in Hollywood, it's all about the the plastic surgery, the face, the lips and the nose and just all this whole look. You see it. It's like the same kind of look, everywhere. It's a mess to know that, folks are willing to go through such lengths for, somebody else's idea of what beauty is. It's really sad.
And it's sad to the point that I don't care how much we say. Let's just keep it real. I don't care how much we say. You need to love yourself. Nobody's listening to that shit when they're out there doing shit like this.
That
Because
part.
yeah, because
Exactly.
first of all, come on now, nobody's listening to that shit. When you see thousands of people doing this, everybody wants to feel loved. I get it. I get it. I want to feel love too. But first and foremost, I'm scared of needles, and that will automatically eliminate me out because that will
Your ass ain't getting lifted,
yeah.
snipped, or tucked nowhere.
If a spank can't do it, if I can't put the spank on and give me what it wants, then that hell I just ain't gonna get it done. Just forget that. But just the image of having to look like a sucked in bottle, you know what I mean? And you can't have a house, you don't own a house, you don't own anything. That's your priority because of a man that is probably fucking this one and that one and this one too. But that's what you're running after. We got to be honest. That's not the man's issue. Hell, that's a personal self-esteem issue right there.
Well, you know that there's this disorder called body dysmorphic disorder, and much of that is brought upon women. Men have it too, but much of that is brought upon women based on just the changing needs and desires of a man. Just a lustful motherfucker. He married a skinny girl, and now she got to stay skinny. She done had his 3 babies. Now she look in the mirror because he looking at her some kind of way. She don't feel good about herself, even though she might be the thinnest thing in the world.
But
that's a problem.
Do you think, Mel, that sometimes, like in situations like that, say you married to somebody, I'm gonna play the advocate, the devil's advocate, not the angel, the devil's advocate. Okay, so Mel, in a situation like that, you married to this dude, you had 3 kids, and he's the one constantly saying little underhanded things to you, like, I see you a little thicker right there, you might not want to eat that little piece of pie there, but you still look good, girl. You see what I'm saying?
A little, passive aggressive shit.
Yeah,
and then that's when I turn around and say, "Motherfucker, look at that fucking muffin top you got going on."
I know that's right. Let's talk about that.
You still getting pussy every night, ain't you? Better be quiet. Don't do me.
That's right. Looking a little thick around the middle.
But you still fucking me every night. You don't like it? You act like you love it. See, I think my personality is a little bit different because, one of my girlfriends sent me a picture of me from 2017 yesterday. I almost cussed her ass out, but then I thought about it. I was like, bitch, I ain't think about that. Oop, can I say that? Anyway. She sent me a picture, and it was early in the fucking morning too. I don't know what the fuck she was doing. Don't start my shit with this nonsense. I ignored her for about 15 minutes. She sent me a message, said back in 2017 she was a little thickums, huh? And I read the message. I rolled over and I wanted to send her, bitch, don't play with me in the morning, but I decided not to, and I just sent her a funny emoji, just laughing because I really don't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck.
You are better than me. I would have chose violence.
But she was trying. I guess she was trying to say you lost weight or whatever. But when I looked at the picture, I did look a little thick, so I couldn't even be mad at her for saying the shit.
Oh,
but I think my personality is that I just don't care. And if a man said that to me, he would just have to. You can go find you somebody else to fuck tonight if you want to, because we're gonna stop this conversation right now. Because I'm not happy about them balls that's sagging either, but I don't talk about it.
Right, you want to do something about that part?
Let's talk. You get all your shit together.
They want to have.
No, get all your shit together, then you can complain about my shit.
Yeah, but that's a self-esteem thing though, because they can women are more conscious of their bodies, because we morph, you know what I mean?
Because men are constantly doing that kind of shit.
Yeah, because babies take a toll on you, you know what I mean? You can come back to your physical self, but you know what I mean? You're going to have stretch marks and things like that. And mentally, you know what I mean? Mentally. Hell, after I had my son, it took 5 years to make me even feel like I was normal, you know what I mean? But
right.
I don't need you to tell me what you see different, because you might get a plate on your head or something like that.
And you ain't pitched out in there, baby.
You ain't not one time. On the side of your neck. Like what? But that wears you down. You know what I mean? And some people feel like they have too much vested interest in their mate. And don't be nice.
Right.
I ain't married to you. Oh hell, you may be just. That's how the police have to come. You know what I mean?
I know that's right. And married or not, like you said, it definitely is a self-esteem thing, because we'll be celebrating 11 years in a couple of days, and I wish that fool would try me with some nonsense. It ain't going down.
I don't think Alex that crazy.
No.
I don't think he. I think he's crazy. I don't think he's that crazy.
He ain't that crazy. He knows exactly who he married, and I feel the same way. Like Remel said, I'm just that type of person. I'm good with me when it comes to certain things, even in terms of body image. You know, there's stuff where I'm like, oh, and you know what, I was going to say this too a couple minutes ago and I forgot. Like, I would go under the knife to do stuff that I want to do, because we've had that conversation before.
Yeah.
Because it's just me. There's stuff that, you know, I feel a certain type of way about. We had that conversation. He was like, would you really? I was like, I sure as hell would. This 1 B cup, 1 C cup situation I got going on, we got to level this out. I'm not okay with that. No complaints. I appreciate you, bro, but it ain't sitting up like it used to. I feel some type of way about it. But
Welcome to the world of motherhood.
Oh Lord.
That was that hungry baby.
That's right. Yep.
But you know, the whole key is what you said. If you want to do it, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You want to do it. Just don't come back looking like Cali from what you say. What you call it? Cali weird.
Cali weird. Yes.
Don't come back like that. You know what I mean? You gorgeous. Don't come back taking that off. If you want to go in the triple F's and G's, that's your business. You do what you want to do. You do you. Okay, that's you, but that's not instructed because he said it. Put the pressure on you to make you feel a certain type of way. Some people live like that. I know myself. I'm like you, Mel. I'm like you. I can't do it. If you got to put that pressure on me, guess what?
Right, it's too much.
I got a jet. No, I don't got a jet. You got a jet because I'm staying where I'm. I mean, you got to get out, but I can't.
I remember when I was running the whole house. And the guys would come in there and tell the girls, like the flat-chested girls, you should just go, I'll pay for you to go get some boobs. And I'm like, don't you fucking come back here with no titties paid for by this man. Because soon as he finished with you, all the customers that you had that liked you because you had B cups or C cups, you're going to lose all that money. And they're like, right. But you don't think I should, And I'm like, no, you should not. You shouldn't do it. Some girls listened, some girls didn't. I had one friend that didn't listen, and she went and got some F cups. Now, let me tell you what she is. Like, she in her 50s now. Bet you that motherfucker.
Heavy.
Bet you that back hurting like a motherfucker.
Right.
F's. I think they were double F's. These were some big ass titties. Man, all because she ain't want to walk around with no F cups. What you do that for? And I was like, what you going to do with all that when you get old?
You got to lift that up, clean underneath. That's just too much going on.
That's because the tricks suggested it. And they kept saying, it was a white girl. They suggested that she get these big ass titties. And she got them. And she suffered. Her back was fucked up. So I suggest you do.
What they look like, too. I mean, the skin is thin. Your skin thins out. They probably look like two jugs hanging off like her body is carrying.
Oh, saggy skin.
Well, let me just tell you what she looked like to me when I last saw her. She looked like my grandmother when she was 86 years old. Her titties was sitting on her lap when she was sitting at the table. Let's just say that. And wasn't there one of them men around to help her.
See?
That is a hot mess.
I'm glad you made that point. Their asses is gone. And they probably just don't even remember what her damn name is. So
they sure don't.
Right. No. She's stuck with all that heavy mess.
All that heavy mess. She probably would find them to get them taken out. So she can take them and flap them over her shoulder now.
Right.
Flap them over her shoulder. But that, I think we hit a lot of really good points. At the end of the day, guess what? You got to do what's good for you. You know what I mean? We got to get out here, and I'm just recapping for you because if I miss something, definitely jump in. We got to get out here. We got to vote, and we got to make sure that our voices is heard. That's number one because these old company ass people up in there making decisions for us is not going to work because our body is our body. We have to be our advocate for our own self, and at the end of the day, we make the decision. If you mess around with somebody and you get knocked up, just know that Negro ain't off the hook. He ain't gonna have to pay, even if he let you know. That's the message of that one. So
I disagree, but okay.
Tell the state, whatever state you live in, tell them that. They're gonna say, no, what his name? That's case number 977. That's what that's what they're gonna tell him. That's what your case number, sir. You need to appear at 9 o'clock on Monday morning so we can tell you what your 33.3% that you need to pay. You don't have to come and visit, but you're gonna be paying that. That's what I got. What do you guys got? Because I don't want to be the only one that's
That is it, folks, just being, strong enough and empowered enough to really advocate for yourself as women. I'm always going to circle back to the future generations because my little ones are still so little. So I want to make sure that I do my part to leave the world a little bit of a better place than I found it. And, for me, it's about, using my voice and the voice of those of us who are old enough to make a difference and to make those changes. And then being that example for the next generation and letting them know that they do have a voice and, encouraging them to use it and to stand up to whomever it may be. Circling all the way back to our topic at the very beginning, being empowered enough to stand up to whatever, government or whatever entity you may think has more power, over you, just knowing what your rights are, knowing the power that you have in controlling your life and also standing up and making things better, for society.
Yeah.
And then mind your damn business.
Mind your business.
Absolutely. And I agree with everything y'all said. And the only thing I'm going to say is, Aiden, double strap that thing. Guys, double strap. Because Kimme coming for you with the case number 999.
Yo, 33.5%.
Exactly.
Look, I'm just being real. I'm past the childbearing age, but I'm telling you, I got kids, and if somebody knock my daughter up or my son knock somebody up, don't have to ask me. The court is going to tell you. You don't have to get mad. You don't have to have no attitude. The law is going to tell you what you're going to have to pay. So here, you could be in any kind of relationship you call it. But when it comes down, the law going to tell you what you need. So you
I called Aiden in here so he could hear me.
Yes, did you get the memo?
You fuck everything that ain't nailed down. I want you to wear 2 rubbers. There's 3. He said, "Oh Lord."
Like, what did I get myself into?
I mean, heck, fine as that boy is, please.
Thank you.
Fine as he is, he better wear 7. So 7. But and then finally, being able to love yourself. If you want to do alterations to your body, do alterations to your body, but don't do it because someone else is persuading you to do it. Because like Mel said, they be gone and your breast be hanging down to your lap and you swing it across your neck and tie it and stuck with the apple.
Somewhere sweating.
So, and all jokes aside, we never here to offend anyone. We take it lighthearted, but loving yourself is more important than anything, and making decisions based on someone else's needs or wants is never going to end up something positive for your own self. It's okay to be selfish. Be selfish for your own good reasons. It's your body. No one's going to take care of it if you are suffering. No one's going to take care of you if you got shit dripping out of your ass because you made a decision because someone else told you to do so. If you love it, then love it. If you like what he says, then go along with it. At the end of the day, remember, you should have the final say in it. That's what we're trying to say here today. So, in closing, I was remiss in saying this because I have to say this. Remel is a podcaster, and she and Ahesha, Ahesha, why I keep calling you Ahesha? Because I'm thinking about my goddaughter. Ahesha is a podcaster with her too. We are all podcasters. We are all Philly girls. But I need Remel to tell you about her podcasting platform, because when you are a podcaster, we show uber love to each other. We do not, when I say we do not shit on each other. We are love, connected, holding hands, because in this industry, Black women podcasters, we are struggling to make ourselves known. So on the porch here, you will never ever see hateration, If that's still a word, is that like an old person word now?
Haterade. Yeah,
Hater.
hateration and haterade. Yeah, same
Okay,
thing.
okay, all right. But we give lots of love for you know, Black podcasters. So Mel, in closing, please tell us about your platform.
So my podcast is called "Shit Your Mama Should Have Told You and More," and it's in short, it's SYMSTY plus, and it's all about just things that you should have known. Um, like, I did revelations talking to my son about me being a madam. I have co-hosts. Aisha's husband, Alex Catalano, is a co-host. Simone is a co-host, and we have, like you said, can we keep the shit real raw? I mean, real raw, because I'm from Philly, and that's the only way to do it, right? And so, and we talk about controversial topics, not necessarily current events, but we talk about controversial topics like when is the best time to say talk to your kids about sex, and it's not a kids platform; it's for the adult only. So, thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak on that a little bit.
Absolutely. So, you know, with saying that, let's just chit chat says we're on all of the platforms, Facebooks, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. And we also want to say that when you see us share the other platforms like Ramel's platform, Shit Your Mama Should Have Told You, which I love that name, and everybody I talk to about it, they love the name too, Mel. you know,
It's
it,
perfect.
it's perfect. Give it love. You know what I mean? We all in this together. And the information that we provide is vital information. We're not just talking some bullshit to you. We're talking real to real. Just like when
Hmm.
you look at the talk on the TV, the real, we just a podcast and we bring you the real too. So in closing, I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight on the porch. Join us again next Sunday when we bring you the hottest and the best topics. I am your girl, Kimme, and joining me tonight is Remel and Ahesha, and we are here to join you with the best topics. Stay healthy, stay well, and live your best life on purpose. Have a good night.
Ah, yes.
Yay.